Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second last day of the sixth edition of the Lonavala International Film Festival. Apologies for not being here with all of you yesterday. I was traveling from Delhi to Bombay, and right through this conversation that you were having wonderfully with my friend Anant Mahadevan, I was in the security line taking out things from my laptop and bag and everything and putting it in. Today, we're going to discuss a fabulous film, one of my favorites, Amanush. Amanush released at the Minerva and matinee shows in Bombay, I remember, and it ran there for about 25 weeks. You couldn't get
35 weeks.
35 weeks. And I do remember it for three things: a fabulous performance by Uttam Kumar, a wonderful cameo by Prema Narayan, and the music of Shamal Mitra. I remember these three things very clearly. We normally talk about all the music. And welcome, Tushar. I didn't see you. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Everyone can hear you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to go to the music this time last. First, we will talk about the magic and the genius and the charisma of Mr. Uttam Kumar. Ashim, sir, I obviously, Anand Ashram and Amanush, you chose Uttam Kumar because you were going to make bilinguals.
Yes. Actually, what happened is, earlier than that, earlier, maybe in 71 or something, Uttam Kumar had come to Bombay for a long period because my father, Uttam Kumar, and Hemant Kumar, all three, Hemant Mukherjee, the music director, all three were warned by the Naxalites that they wanted to kill these three people so that they would become popular. So the police told Uttam Kumar that you please leave this city because we don't assure you safety. So he was here for a long period of time, and Dad and he would meet very, very often. And that's when they got very close. And he said, won't I get a second chance in Bombay? Because earlier he had made Choti Si Mulaqat, which had bombed. So then Dad said, no, I will make a movie with you. You are such a fabulous actor and I have confidence that it will do well. But I'll make a double version. I don't want to make only Hindi. So, and he agreed. So then that's how Amanush was thought of because of these conversations. And then, of course, he had read this beautiful novel by Shaktipada Rajguru. Shaktipada Rajguru had written a novel which he liked very much, and he wanted to see the location. So he went to the Sundarbans with Mr. Shaktipada Rajguru, and they reached the location at about 6 o'clock in the evening when it was, already the sun had set because they had to go by motorboat and far away into the. And so obviously they couldn't see much because it was getting dark. And he said, this is the location? Because in the novel, it looks like something mind-blowing, and this is horrible. This is just khadi hai ye to. So he said, no, it is a beautiful location. Anyhow, he said, okay, tomorrow we'll see the location. And they went to sleep in the boat itself. And because there were too many mosquitoes, he couldn't sleep a wink. And by 4 o'clock, his eyes opened. 4, 5 o'clock, his eyes opened and he was just watching the sky, and he saw magic in the sky. Because with the sunrise, the clouds were changing its colors and the sky was changing the colors, and he just got totally mesmerized. And he said, my God, this is heaven. I have to make the movie here. And that's how the location was fixed. It was away from any civilization. It was in the middle of Sundarbans, where there was nothing, no electricity, no water, no nothing, just some remote villages with 20 people, 30 people, that sort of thing. So he made an entire housing for 150 people. He carried 3 generators of 100 kilowatts each. One was a standby, one was for the kitchen and a common utility, and one was for the rooms. And he created American system toilets and everything. Can you imagine creating that entire thing? And he made it, semi-permanent or permanent nature, so that it could be used. And he donated it to the people of Sundarbans. So that's how the entire shooting started, and they shot there for 45 days, I think, 45 days, because it was double version movie, so obviously it required a lot of.
So the Hindi version obviously was a super hit. How did the Bengali version do?
Bengali was a super duper duper hit. I mean, those days, 1974, the movie did a business of 1.5 crores, which is equivalent to 150 crores or 200 crores today.
Absolutely. I'm going to move to Divya. Divya, I want to talk to you about the other actors in this film apart from Uttam Kumar. Sharmila Tagore, coming back to Shakti Films after a little bit of a gap there. Because there was Hema Malini with Shaktidan and Mehboob Adohi didn't produce it, and there was Zeenat Aman in Ajnabi, and there was Maushami Chatterjee launched in Anurag, and there was Rajni Sharma in Balika Badhu, and Utpal Dutt. Utpal Dutt actually made his presence so sinisterly felt in this one particular movie that Bollywood embraced him. And of course, Rishida knew what best to do with him in films like Golmaal and Rang Birangi and so on and so forth. But I want you to talk a little bit about Sharmila, Prema Narayan and Utpal Dutt in this film.
So yeah, Sharmila Tagore, of course, there are two theories related to Sharmila Tagore. There are some of the fans of Sharmila Tagore feel that before her marriage, she used to look very beautiful, and then there are these guys who say कि नहीं शादी के बाद वो और खूबसूरत लगने लगी थी. And this movie has that thing, and there are a couple of songs and situations where she's looking very pretty. And though it was a Uttam Kumar film, but she gave superb support. And about Prema Narayan, I think she should always thank Shakti Samanta sir because of this movie and the film yesterday which we discussed, that is Ek Barsat Ki Ek Raat, her most popular role, because in terms of Manchali O Manchali song. So that was there. And Uttam Kumar, you rightly said, sorry, not Utpal Dutt sir, you rightly said everyone else was exploring him and using him in comedy or character actor roles, but there were very few filmmakers. The same Hrishikesh Mukherjee also did use him in one film in a negative role, but out here Shakti Samanta used him in this film and other film also in very different, and he was associated with drama and all those plays and everything. So that guy always used to say that मुझे हिंदी में उतने variations नहीं मिल रहे जितना मैं plays में कर रहा था. But यहाँ पे उनके वो variations देखने मिले थे. But I want to talk about Uttam Kumar because that mannerisms, what he had in this movie, that drunken act. One is the way he used to talk in that drunken act. वो पूरा उनका नीचे जाके वो थोड़ा सा slurring था, वो जमाने में उन्होंने ऐड किया था. And then when he's normal in those songs, other songs where he's talking to Sharmila Tagore, and that's a proper Uttam Kumar which we see in other films. तो ये जो difference जो उन्होंने लाया था, बहुत कम लोग ला पा रहे. वरना generally Bollywood sharabi used to be they used to talk in that way, cliches, but out here he did sound like a sharabi, he did sound like a heartbroken guy. तो वो बहुत that method acting जो उन्होंने एक लेकर आए थे was कमाल का.
You're right, and I'll tell you one thing, I always have a trivia question for my fans. Which film starred Amanush's lead players, Uttam Kumar and Sharmila Tagore, along with Amitabh Bachchan and Hema Malini in the same film?
Desh Premi.
There you are. So, Manmohan Desai actually in Desh Premi took half the industry. There was Amitabh Bachchan in a double role. There was Sharmila Tagore and Hema Malini and Parveen Babi. And there was Uttam Kumar, and there was Premnath, and there was Parikshit Sahni, and there was Shammi Kapoor. It was giant. So, Pooja, I mean, I know that it was way before your time. But I would like to know a little bit about how Manmohanji decided to cast the Amanush cast inside Desh Premi. I am told that he wanted Shivaji Ganeshan in that film also because there were 4 slumlords and he wanted each one to represent one section of the country and so on and so forth.
There was Pran Saab also there in the original.
Pran Saab, yeah, but Pran Saab had a problem with Shashi Kapoor, so Shashi came in and Pran went out. Then there was a problem with Shashi Kapoor, so Shashi Kapoor went out and Naveen Nishchal came in without Pran. And then
Shatrughan Sinha in between.
Shatrughan Sinha had, yeah, there were huge things. But to focus on, do you know how the
No, I unfortunately do not know that story, but I do know that it was that they wanted the representation of all 4 aspects of the Indian community at that time. And I think his performance in that film was fantastic. Like it was just very well, like what a character. Like, it really did stand out considering there was so many stalwarts who were particular to the Indian film industry at that time as well. But yeah, I think it was just a very memorable role that he essayed, and each person had their own flavor, and I think that he added something to the project. It wasn't just like a face being shoved there.
And I'm telling you, whether it was Uttam Kumar or anybody else, nobody could say no to Manmohan Desai. They just couldn't say no to your grandfather. And I'm now going to talk to Tusharji about the music of Amanush, Shamal Mitra. But before I talk to you, Tushar, I just want to know why Shamal Mitra to Ashram Samanta. It could have been R.D. Burman, who had the Bengali ethos and who had given you Amar Prem.
Dad always liked to experiment with newer people. Panchamdam was already there in a couple of films which were going on along with Amanush. So, and because this was in double version and Bengali, so he decided to have the top music director of Bengal at that point of time, and Shamal Mitra, and he gave fabulous music, of course.
Oh.
And what Dad did is requested Panchamda to give his team of the music arrangers, etc., like Basu Manori and the entire team of the orchestra team of R.D. Burman. That's why the music became
is reminiscent of, But that Tushar will tell us. Tushar, over to you.
It's more of S.D. Burman style. If I feel that it's really more of the senior Barbanda style. The songs, my personal favorite, even at that time and even today, was Kalke Apne Na Jaane Kyun Ho Gaye Aaj Par Aaye. I used to like that a lot, even at that time when I saw the film in Minerva, as you say. I can't recall. I remember seeing, liking that tune very much. And also, I'm with apologies to everybody. I had discussed this with Sanjeev Kohli, Madan Mohan's son. It's very obvious that the other song is a copy of Shok Nazar Ki Bijliyan, Dil Pe Mere Giraye Ja. It's a very, very similar tune. And but it's a very nice song. I used to like that also. Gam ki dawa to pyar hai, gam ki dawa sharab nahi. So it sounds so much like Shok Nazar Ki Bijliyan and with Asha ji, but it's a very melodious song. But overall flavor, Ashim Bhai, I feel was very much S.D. Burman style. And now that you said that, because Bashuda, Manurida were all Burmanda's right hand, left hand, and that kind of, and then of course, Kishore Kumar and Asha ji were also very much from the Burmanda camp.
Yeah.
So I have one question to ask you specifically, if I may ask. When I saw the film at that time, I must have been 15 years old. I mean, why not Rajesh Khanna? That's what I was thinking. That this film, why wasn't there Rajesh Khanna? He was so much there in Shaktidas films, and why didn't he not make the film with Rajesh Khanna?
Rajesh Khanna was there in Ajnabi, Anurodh, and all those films. And he wanted to cast Uttam Kumar, and when he decided to take Uttam Kumar, he said, let's make it in double version. And
but even Amar Prem was double version, I think, and Aradhana also.
Amar Prem was only...
Aradhana was double version.
Aradhana was dubbed in Bengali later on, in 1975.
Okay. I remember seeing those Bengali posters of Aradhana in Calcutta. I remember that. But I would have personally liked, because I was a Rajesh Khanna, I am a Rajesh Khanna fan. I mean, out and out. That was my growing up time. So Rajesh Khanna, Mumtaz, Rajesh Sharmila Tagore was a very happy situation for an audience.
But because Rajesh Khanna was working in that period between Ajnabi, Anurodh, and Mehbooba, 3 movies he was doing, one after the other.
Yes.
And I must tell you something very interesting about the premiere at Calcutta of the Bengali version. It's so Dad was there for the first show of Amanush Bengali, and it released a month earlier than the Hindi. Hindi released a little later. So it was puja time, or 1 week before the puja, I think it started. And Dad was there in the cinema hall, and he was very nervous because he knew that he had made a Bengali film in Hindi style. And so he thought, now what brickbats I'll get from the audience, I don't know. So he did not dare to sit with the audience at all. He went and saw the entire movie from the projection room. From
Oh
that,
my God.
he was standing there and looking at it, the whole movie and looking at the audience reactions. And he realized, nay, they've taken it well. Now what happened is, as the movie ended, some people came to know that Shakti Samanta is there in the projection room.
Oh.
And the entire 900 people who were inside the hall, they came to the projection room. And they said, Shakti Samanta Zindabad, Shakti Samanta Zindabad, and all that stuff in Bengali. And everybody, I mean, they came inside the projection room, they carried him onto their shoulder. And they were, like, you have to promise us that you will give us a movie like this every year. And I mean, it was like, he said that this was the adulation that they showed, and they were touching his feet, and they were, God knows what all they were doing. He said, this sort of adulation I have not seen even the biggest of stars getting. And he started weeping like with joy. I mean, that sort of joy,
Amazing.
that sort of success, and that sort of adulation. And they didn't let him down at all. They carried him right up to his car. And there were another 900 people waiting to get inside. So he said that 1,800, 2,000 people, wanting his autographs, touching his feet, and just full of adulations. He said that was the highest point in my life ever. So it was a great moment for him.
Can I ask one question? Because we had discussed right now, you talked about Hemant Kumar.
Yeah.
All right. Shakti Da was a brilliant filmmaker. We are big fans of him. But, I just want to discuss this, even Vivek is there, that the Bengali school of filmmaking, the typical you would say Bimal Roy, then Rishi Da, and then you would say Bashu Bhattacharya and Bashu Chatterjee, and those kind of films. And then there was this Filmistan family, that and yes, the Sheshidhar Mukherjee and Shakti Da, who were out and out Bombay filmmakers, They did not carry the Bengali ethos and stuff like that. Yet in the music, even with Nayyar Saab music or other composers, there was something very, very melodious always happening. Now tell me, why did he not ever work with Hemant Kumar or Salil Chaudhary? I just want to know that.
Actually, that's a good question. Even I would like to know.
Hemant Kumar, Dad worked in the movies which he directed for others.
Like which ones? For my knowledge.
One was, I think, Inspector. One was Bahu. Then Hill Station, I think. There are 4 movies he did with
Inspector
him.
And Bahu, of course, I know Hemant Babu. And Salil Chaudhary?
Salil Chaudhary, unfortunately, we did not work with him. But I engaged Salil Da for the background music of Ahankar.
I see. Okay.
And
so
I
you
was
worked.
so happy with him. Dad only recommended, and Dad spoke to him, and he did.
I ask you this question more from the viewpoint of Satyajit Ray. I mean, the great Manik Da, though he was in Bengal and he worked with Ravi Shankar ji and Velayat Khan Sahab, but later on he was composing his own music. So as a film lover, a film buff, I was wondering that he was sitting in Calcutta and there was Pankaj Malik and there was Salil Chaudhary and there was Hemant Kumar, and why was Manik Da composing his own music? I mean, I never knew this, because his music, for all his craft of the film, was sounded the same in all the films. So, I mean, why was he even wanting to compose? There was Hemant Kumar and Salil Chaudhary sitting there, plus other Bengali great composers like Kalipata Sen or, Shudin Das Gupta and Nachiketa Ghosh and Shamal Babu and everybody. They were all fabulous composers. Each one was like an icon by himself. So why was he insistent? So I'm just wondering, why wasn't even Shakti Da working with Hemant Kumar or Salil Chaudhary? It was just a curiosity, nothing else.
No, but at that point of time, when we worked with Salil Da and Ahankar for the background score.
Which year would that be?
This was 95.
All right, 90 as late as that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember asking Dad that we should have worked with Salil, that he's so good.
Oh my God, he's one god. As far as I'm concerned, he's a god of composers. He's
I have
amazing.
been a very big fan of Salil because his music.
But I must tell you that my last 4 films, including Rough Book, have all had the background scores done by Salil Das' son, Sanjoy Chau.
Very close. PP, very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
PP,
Yeah, I would
brilliant,
like to
brilliant guy.
ask a question to Shim, and that is Anand Bakshi Saab was replaced by Indivar, who was known for, you know, that Shringar Ras Wale. He was the Shringar Ras Wale lyricist. So यहाँ पे तो heartbreak songs hai and everything is there. So why this? Anand Bakshi would have been the best, no doubt. Indivar Saab did fabulous stuff. He got award also for this one, but why would this change?
Because again, he was already working with in 3 films. Ajnabi, Anurodh, and Great Gambler, and Mehbooba, and after that, so you know, thoda sa change.
Yeah, because otherwise the music may have got monotonous.
Vivek, I miss discussing Ajnabi music. I miss discussing Ajnabi. I love Ajnabi songs. I just love Ajnabi songs and just love the film.
Aparna, I want to talk to you a little bit because the last time when we talked about Shamal Mitra, you had said that every Bengali is a fan of Shamal Mitra. And I agree with you, but I want to know what your thoughts are of Shamal Das music in context to Amanush.
Can I start with a controversial statement?
Please do.
The Bengali Amanush had much better songs than the Hindi Amanush. I mean, some of the songs were actually repeats, and they were beautiful songs, no doubt about it. But Shamal Mitra, as I was growing up, I always remembered him he had a very naughty, like his compositions had a very naughty touch to it. Like there is a song in Bengali Amanush which is Jodi hoi chor kanta tor chadir bhaje. And there is another one which is basically Uttam Kumar is drunk in that scene and he is singing. Which one is it? So there is a Bengali version also, and they're much more naughtier. You know, the Hindi songs, I know Indivarji has written some beautiful lyrics and they're very romantic, and as Divyaji just put it, like, you know, Shringar Ras hota hai unme. But Shamal Mitra in my mind has always been a slightly naughty singer and a composer. So even his previous songs, even his older songs, and even in actually Anand Ashram, if you hear the Bengali version, they are slightly naughtier. Anyway, my point being that all the songs are very, very beautiful, but the biggest memory we have even today, if you go to any other place other than Calcutta for a Durga Puja, वहाँ पे अगर tape बज रहा होगा, मतलब कि वहाँ पे अगर music बज रहा होगा, it will probably be Amanush songs. Because no doubt about it, the guys who collect all these CDs, cassettes, like now MP3s, they will have Amanush because the heartbreak Amanush song is just like, and especially Dil Aisa Kisi Ne Mera Toda in the Bengali version of it, वो तो बजना ही बजना है. मतलब कि हम लोग अगर गए हैं तो वो नहीं, तो otherwise that is not a good puja, according to us.
All single heartbreaks वालों का epic line, एक भले मानुष को अमानुष बना
के So actually, but other than that, also Shamal Mitra's voice is very beautiful. I mean, he has a very, very melodic voice, and he's one of the few directors who could sing classical music. I mean, I know all music directors can, but he could sing classical music as well as he could compose it. Which not a lot of music directors actually did both of them.
They all did. But now I've just realized, actually, Divya, one thing. Yeah. Our Bengali music directors, R.D. Burman, S.T. Burman, Shamal Da, Hemant Kumar, Bappi Lahiri.
They all sing.
All our Bengali music directors are singers.
You can start with Pankaj Malik, my dear. And you can start with Kamal Das Gupta and Pankaj Malik, Anil Vishwas. But these guys come much later.
No, I mean to
Kamal Mitra used to sing for Salil Chaudhary. There's a trivia out there. He sang in a couple of Salil Chaudhary's Hindi films.
Yeah, he did. He did
sing for them. The first one, he started with singing for, I think, Musafir for Rishikesh Mukherjee's first film. There is one song by Shamal Mitra. And
Shamal Mitra, yeah.
One song.
Yes.
But his hold on classical music, like singing classical music, was just fantastic. And like, you know, like last time, I was again listening to all the songs on repeat today, and I just realized that, like, Nadiya Mein is so similar to Aradhana. The feel of the song. I'm not saying the tune
Very
of
SD
the song, but
Burmanish.
very SD Burmanish, and it is like it is the title track, like Safal Hogi Teri Aradhana. So मुझे ना बहुत वो, I was getting that feel, कि अच्छा ये SD Burman जी भी गा सकते थे शायद.
There you are. That's what I said.
So we all sang. Each and every one of our
Vivek, as a composer, as a listener, I can never have enough of SD Burman's voice. It's so good. It's so good. I just want more and more of that.
I have created an SD Burman playlist. I've created an RD Burman playlist. I have
Send it
created
across.
a Salil Chaudhary playlist. Some outstanding music. It's there, and I put it on and then I go to sleep. But I must tell you guys a couple of interesting trivia. All Bimal Roy's films started with this Rajabai Tower moving and Bimal Roy presents. In Bandhani, the title music was what R.D. Burman took for Yadon Ki Barat's Aapke Kamre Mein Koi Rehta Hai. That entire tune of Aapke Kamre Mein Koi Rehta Hai is in the title music of Bandhani. When S.D. Burman did Talash, Aaj To Junali Raat Ma, the entire middle music was taken by Mr. R.D. Burman and made into Kahe Apno Ka Kaam Nahi Aaye Re in Manmohan Desai's Rampur Ka Lakshman. So it was a very close knit. I want to ask one question to Pooja. It's something I've always been meaning to ask. With R.D. Burman, no, you don't have to. I'm just saying, Aag Gale Lag Ja and Rampur Ka Lakshman were two of the best musical scores that Manmohan Desai ever had in his career. We listen to them even today. Outstanding. Gum Hai Kisi Ke Pyar Mein. But he never worked with R.D. Burman after these two movies. Then it was Lakshmikant Panilal straight through until Anu Malik.
Yeah, and it was Kalyanji Anandji before that. So
it was Kalyani before that.
Yeah,
Chalya was Kalyani.
Yeah, because I think Kalyanji Anandji helped them get get a couple of the movies, and they were very close friends, and that's how that happened. Because my grandfather was initially an assistant director. Then, when he did after Chalya, the second film came from Kalyanji Anandji. So I think that was.
But
I don't know. I just don't think that I don't want to say anything controversial here. I think he just liked Lakshmikant Pyarelal-ji.
No, that's fine.
I think the rapport was really great.
I think Dharamveer, Chata Bhatija, Parvarish, Amar Akbar, Anthony Sohag, Naseeb, Mooli, they were great, Desh Premi, were great scores. But I just want, how did your father get along with Pooja's grandfather, Shami Kapoor? We know they did so many movies together. Shaktida and Shami Kapoor were best friends. How was his relationship with Manmohan Desai?
My dad?
They were all colleagues.
Yeah, they were all colleagues. They scolded each other also. Dad fired him for selling the negative rights of Amar Akbar Anthony. Fired him like hell.
I'm so glad.
Can I ask a question to Ashim Bhai? How was Shakti Da's relationship or friendship with Rishida? I mean, being
very
contemporaries and...
Very close, very close. You know something, I must tell you that those days, the entire film industry was like a family. Everybody was so close to each other.
I wanted to bring that point out, yes.
They were such genuine well-wishers of each other. They were competitors, but they were well-wishers. And they always attended each other's parties, each other's jubilee functions, each other's premieres. And it was a terrific relationship between almost everybody. It was fabulous. And Ketan and I have been great friends. Her dad and I have been great friends. And I remember in 1984, I was mixing my movie, Main Avara Hoon. And Manji was mixing Coolie. So I finished at 2 o'clock and he came in at 2 o'clock. And we were both guffawing outside, Ketan and I. And Manji came from the set and he was looking at us. And he came there and he said, I'm feeling very sad for you two. So why? He said, your dad and I had a great innings because we had no competition from video. You guys are going to have to face a humongous task with this video piracy. That's 84, I'm talking about 1984. And
Yes.
that struck me so much in my mind. And that's when I decided that I must have alternative businesses. And then I started my dubbing business and all these chemical business, etc., which my wife was looking after. So, and he was so right in his assessment right way back in 1984.
Can I ask one question about the music part of this film?
Sorry, I would have to interrupt. We are already at 6:30. So Tushar, one quick
Last
question, please.
No, I am very like Shamal Da he chose Asha ji to sing all the beautiful songs that he composed. Whose choice was it? Was it Shakti Da or was it Shamal ji? To get Asha ji to sing the songs?
I'm not too sure about that. I guess it must have been Dad, I think. I'm not too sure.
Asha ji is so brilliant in this film. Amazing she is.
Yes, it's a highlight
Always.
of her career, I must say. And Madhav must be wondering how these people know all these little ins and outs, which theatre, it was in a matinee, it was there, who did what. You just have to be a real film person to just know that we know these things. We never learnt it.
Quite clearly.
I have never forgotten Premanarayan in that film. Never forgotten Premanarayan.
This movie was such I mean, we did not expect that the Hindi version would do so well. But right throughout the country, right from Punjab to the south, this movie was a super duper hit.
It was.
Madras, in one cinema, it did 100 weeks. It was a small little cinema of some 60, 80 people. But 100 weeks it ran. So, I mean, it was something amazing. Yeah.
I must be the devil today again. I'm sorry, Ashimji, there's a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever acted in any of your films in a cameo role, or have you come on screen?
No, I have only acted in my home movies, which were made during school times. That's where I learned the technique of making movies.
So this question has come from one of the people who are watching the show. So I said I must put it across to you. And I'm sorry I have to put an end to this discussion. We'll continue it tomorrow before the screening again. Thank you, Ashim ji. Thank you, Tushar ji. Thank you, Aparna ji, Pooja ji, Divya ji, Vivek ji. Thank you very much. And
thank you. I'll come tomorrow. Tomorrow is our penultimate day of paying a tribute to a great filmmaker. And I would like each one of you to talk a little bit about Shakti Da also. I have some questions I've actually created for Ashim for tomorrow. But thank you all and see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the movie.